What's going on, everyone? My name is Ed, and in this video I'm taking a deep dive inside of my Lexus SC400 back there to figure out what's going on with it. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for dropping by. Subscribe if you like what you see. All right, so this is my 1993 Lexus SC400, and I picked this thing up a couple of months ago. It was already converted to a 5-speed manual. And basically, this is what happens when you try to put it into gear. You can hear that. Oh, that didn't, don't want to do that one. All right, doesn't want to go in gear. Now, some of y'all said the reason I can't get it into gear is because of the clutch. And a couple of y'all said that it's the trans that's bad. So what I did is I slid underneath the car and I took a peek inside of the bell housing, and this is what I saw. One more time. Go ahead. One more time. Keep going. So if we take a closer look at that video, it appears the hydraulic throwout bearing is resting on top of the pressure plate. There's actually supposed to be a small gap, okay? A couple thousandths of an inch, not much. And, you know, unfortunately, if you over shim the throwout bearing, which appears to be the case in this situation, you can fry your clutch, you can cause your clutch disc to wear significantly faster, and I'm thinking this is probably something that happened here. The thing to remember with hydraulic throwout bearings is that you only have a couple thousandths of an inch of room here to play with. If you over shim it, you can cause damage. If you don't shim it enough, you can cause damage. So it's really one of those sensitive things that has to be spot on and perfect. So I actually started working on this thing last night while the sun was going down. I thought I'd save my filming for today here. I didn't want to waste too much time trying to film stuff in the dark. So I dropped the exhaust. A couple of y'all wanted to know what kind of exhaust this thing has. So here it is. It's basically a fabbed up stock exhaust, and I'm not really happy about this here. They welded the downpipe to the mid pipe, and they didn't really do a good job welding this. It's leaking from there. But yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked that this sounds as good as it does with this exhaust setup. So after I removed the exhaust, I dropped the drive shaft, and then inside of the car, I removed the center console trim to gain access to the shifter bolts. And if you look closely at the center console trim, you'll notice that there's a section in the center console that appears to be broken from where the shifter was hitting the center console. And if we take a closer look at the shifter, there appears to be mismatched bolts. So 2 of the bolts are too long and 2 of the bolts are too short. Not sure what's going on here, but aside from that, everything else looks pretty good. All right, so before you actually drop the transmission, one of the things that you want to do is disconnect all the harnesses, whatever ground is connected to the trans, any clutch lines, go ahead and remove it now, because you don't want any of that stuff to get tangled up or caught in the way while you're dropping the trans. After that, the trans is basically ready to be removed. Now, a couple of y'all have actually reached out to me and asked me, how do I get access to the upper bolts? This is a 17mm socket, that's the size of the bolts, with a nice swivel at the end of it, and this is like a really long extension. I want to say this is about 2.5 to 3 feet long. This is going to make your life easier from when you're hitting the bolts from the back of the trans, basically 3 feet away. So I like to break the bolts free first by hand using some sort of breaker bar, and then I'll come back and hit it with an impact. If you feel like you can do this with an impact, then do whatever you feel, but this is what works for me every single time. After you get the top bolts off first, I like to move to the bottom bolts last because those are easier to get to. And then I take a pry bar and gently separate the trans from the block. And then I lower the trans, or lower the jack, and the trans usually falls down easy breezy, like this. Lower a little bit. Cool. And here's what the trans looks like. I have it in a wheelbarrow. I kind of messed this up here because I didn't drain the fluid. I should have, and I have it angled backwards like an idiot. So all the trans fluid just seeped out of the back of the tail housing there. So But whatever, here's the trans, it looks good. Here's the bell housing. I'm not sure if this comes with these holes at the top or if they made those. It looks like it's part of the bell housing. So there's one at the top for the bleeder, and then there's one at the top for the feed line. And then here's the throwout bearing, and spins freely. Move this out a little bit. Here are the shims. We got 1, 2, 3 shims. Might have one too many shims here, but I don't know if this is part of the kit. You guys see that nut there? Hopefully the light's picking up this here. I don't know if there's gonna be too bad here, but yeah, I don't know, guys. So what I wanna do right now is I wanna slide underneath the car, and I want to remove the clutch and get my reaction to see how that looks. And then I want to take the flywheel off, and let's see how this works. I'm honestly not sure what to expect. I mean, at this point, the worst is already past. I mean, we already kind of noticed the clutch, but I'm still keeping my fingers crossed, and hopefully I don't see anything else bad that's back there. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I want this to fall. One more. Oh my God. Oh my God, what the hell? Oh, whoa. Yo, oh, what? I have never seen that before. So starting with the clutch disc first, as you can see, there's like practically no material left. It's kind of chewed up and jagged all over the place. I'll explain how that happened in a second, but yeah, this is just really bad. Look at the other side here. Just really bad, man, just really bad. You got clutch material all over the place. I mean, this just got chewed up. This is like the worst possible scenario out of this whole entire process. This is like the absolute worst thing that can happen, but this is not even the bad part. The bad part is what I'm about to show you, which is the actual pressure plate. Check this out. Have you guys ever seen a pressure plate? This is just clutch material. It just basically shredded it. Just got shredded, but look at that pressure plate, man. This is not even on. Look, a huge chunk. This is bad, man. All of this from over shimming. Wow. The flywheel looks like it's okay. Just needs to be resurfaced. I wonder if it's okay, if resurfacing will fix it. I'm pretty sure it will. I don't see any like heavy scratches or anything in there, but this is really bad. But this is not the upsetting part. The upsetting part for me about this whole entire process is that whoever installed this didn't even use the right bolts. They had like, first of all, you're supposed to have 8, right? And they had 7, but one of them snapped off. Now, I'm also thinking about selling this clutch setup, not the clutch disc, obviously. That's maybe I should sell that, right? It's a trophy, a souvenir, right? I think I'm gonna keep that as a trophy, but I'm thinking maybe the trans and the bell housing with the drive shaft and the flywheel. So any 1UZ guys that are interested in this kind of swap, I'm thinking about selling it and maybe going a different direction. But anyways, if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up. It'll make me feel better about this whole entire situation. I'm really kind of just not a happy camper right now. So like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment below if you guys have any questions about this whole thing. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.